Okay, so we're going to talk about the vector word problem, and the first thing we know is that a plane is traveling west at 400 miles per hour. Okay, so let me put the 400, and that the wind is approaching northwest. So I'm going to take this, let's pick a different color. The wind is northwest at 60 miles per hour. Okay. The first thing we need to do is we need to get the coordinates. So if you remember from the previous problems that we did, we had that the order pairs would be, we had r comma theta. Let me see if I can find the symbol for theta. Okay, r comma theta. And to do the order pair, we need the cosine and we need the sine. So r for the plane is going to be 400. So I'm going to do 400, and I'm going to do cosine and west. West is this line right here. So if east is 0, north is 90 degrees, west is 180 degrees. So 180, comma, 400, sine of 180. That is the ordered pair for the vector for the plane. Now we have to find the ordered pair for the vector of the wind. And the wind is, let me get my pen, the wind is this angle here. And because this line is northwest, northwest is exactly halfway between west and north, which makes this 45 degrees. Now there's two ways to do this. I know that north is 90 degrees, and I know that west is 180. And that this line is halfway between. So I can do 180 plus 90 is 270. And then divide by 2 because it's halfway gives me 135. The other way to think about it is this angle right here is 90 degrees plus an additional 45 is 135. So that means, and let me just, so that we're sure about this, this is the plane and this is going to be the wind. And the wind's ordered pair would be 60 because that's its r, that's its rate. Okay, the cosine of 135, comma, 60, the sine of 135. All right, so we need to do 400 times the cosine of 180. Okay, so when I do, you'll have to trust because I don't have the graphing calculator on the screen. When I do 400 the cosine of 180, I get, and let me pick a different color, I get negative 400, comma, okay, when I do 400 times the sine of 180, the sine of 180 is 0, 400 times 0 is 0. Okay, we'll just double check that in the calculator. Okay, now I'm going to do 60 the cosine of 135, and I get negative 42.4. And then I'm going to do 60 the sine of 135. I'm going to type that in my calculator and I get 42.4. Okay, so when I'm trying to find the new vector that these two create, it's the sum of these two. So I'm going to actually do the sum of these items squared. So I'm going to do negative 400 plus negative 42.4, this item squared, plus 0 plus 42.4, that quantity squared. And when I type it in my calculator, I'm going to get 442.4 squared plus 42.4 squared, and that gives me an answer of 444.427. This is the distance of the new vector, the sum of the vectors. So I simply did the vector of the ordered pair of the plane plus the ordered pair of the wind, and I did the square root of the sum of each square. Okay, now I need to find the angle. And if we remember before, let me stay on the screen so we can see all the pictures. The formula is, let me pick a different color, tan to the -1 of y over x, okay? So, my y is going to be the 42.4 because 0 plus 42.4. So I'm going to do tan to the -1 of 42.4 divided by -424.4. Okay? So it's my y over my x. When I take out my calculator and I do this, 42.4 divided by -424.4, I get -5.7. Okay, because it's an angle, the negative is just simply the direction, so the angle ends up being 5.7. I hope this helps.